Learn Spanish World presents Most Common Verbs in the Spanish Language. Having covered that, I can now tell you that we are going to learn the most common verbs in the Spanish language. But we are going to learn the verbs in their infinitive form, okay? We are going to learn the most common verbs in their infinitive form, meaning we are not going to conjugate these verbs. As I said before, for now, I just want you to learn what these verbs are. There's no need for you to memorize how to conjugate them. There's no need for you to remember their conjugated form at this stage. So we should worry first, we should concentrate in learning the most common verbs in their infinitive form, which means raw, before being conjugated, and after that we'll conjugate them and we'll learn a little bit more about how we can apply and use these verbs in our daily speech. So guess, what do you think would be the top 3 most common verbs in the Spanish language? If you've been watching our videos, you probably already know 2 of them. Very important verbs. We use them on a regular basis, countless of times each day, and we also use them in English. So give it a guess. I'll give you 2 seconds. I'll give you a few seconds. Think about it. What do you think are the 3 most common verbs in Spanish? Or what verbs do you think you would like to know in the Spanish language because you know that these are the verbs that people use the most? If you guessed ser and estar, if you said ser and estar are number 1 and number 2, número 1 y número 2, you are correcto. Absolutely. The verb ser and estar are the 2 most commonly used verbs in the Spanish language. Now, we already learned that ser and estar means to be. In English, we only got 1 to be verbs. However, in Spanish, we've got 2 to be verbs, and it is extremely important. I cannot emphasize how important it is that you fully understand how these 2 verbs are used in the Spanish language. If for some reason you haven't watched the video that actually explains how to use ser and estar, I strongly encourage you to do so now before you proceed any further. It'd be very important for you to learn how to use ser and how to use estar in the Spanish language. We also got an animation. We got an entire playlist that discusses these 2 verbs. So I encourage you to watch the video. It's here in the link. So if you click at the top, you'll see a little link there. It will take you to the playlist so that you can actually familiarize yourself with these 2 important verbs. Continuemos. Verb number 1 is ser, and verb number 2, estar. Both of them are to be. Ser, we learned that we use it with permanent things such as nationality, our name, and so on. Ser is used with permanent things or with permanent attributes such as maybe your name, your nationality, your city of origin, and so on. And estar has to do with more temporary things, for example, like location, condition, emotions, and so on. Notice here we got verb número 3, which is tener. Tener means to have in Spanish. To have. And it is an verb because if you look at the 2 last words at the end, it's an E and an R, and that is pronounced in Spanish. Whereas estar, it's an R verb. It ends with an A and an R. Now, look, can you see what tener and ser have in common? Look at them carefully. Look at the ending, ER, ER. So they are both of them. So both of them are verbs, ser and tener. Okay, so far we got ser, estar, tener, which means to have. Try to think for a moment, which other verbs would you add? Which are the verbs that you use the most also in English? What verbs would you pick for the next 3 verbs, from 4 to 6? The next 3 verbs are hacer, which means to do. It is an verb. Poder, which means to be able. I can do something, can. Once again, so it's an verb. And decir, to say, to tell. And that's an verb because it ends with an I and an R. Decir. These are the infinitive forms, so they haven't been conjugated. Okay, in Spanish we got are, and verbs. So far we got ser, estar, which means both of them mean to be, tener, to have, hacer, to do, poder, to be able to, pretty much the word can, I can do something, poder, and decir, to say. Finally, we got 4 more verbs to go. Now, we know that a verb describes an action. All these words here describes actions. Tener describes to have something, to do something, to be able to say something, and being someone. And we finally arrive at our last 4 verbs. Número 7, ir. Ir means to go. Ir. Número 8, number 8, ver. That means to watch, to see something. Ver. Número 9, comer. Comer means to eat. Very important word. Especially if you go overseas, you want to try some of those exotic dishes. So, comer. Number 10, tomar. Tomar means to take, but it can also mean to drink. So it's another important verb, tomar. Okay, let us revise once again for the last time. These are the most common verbs in Spanish, and you must know these verbs. It's very important because once you memorize these verbs, you will be able to start building upon these verbs, and you will be able to start communicating more effectively. Once you memorize these verbs, we'll learn how to conjugate them, how to use them accordingly. But for the time being, let us just memorize the infinitive form of these verbs. Okay, so the infinitive form, as we said before, this is the raw form, the unaltered form of the verb before being conjugated. Okay, so to be in the Spanish would be número 1 and número 2, ser and estar. Ser is used for permanent things like your name, your nationality. Estar, it's for temporary things such as location or how you're feeling today, emotions. Número 3, tener, which means to have. Tener. And notice how I pronounce the T. It's a very soft T. I don't say tener, I say tener. I place my tongue on the back of my upper teeth and I say tener. Número 4, to do, another important verb. To do in Spanish is hacer. So the H is silent. We actually read from the A. So the H is silent, so we don't pronounce it. We basically read it from here, from the A. Hacer. Hacer means to do. Número 5, poder, which means to be able. Can. I can do something. Número 6, decir. To say. Número 7, ir. To go. Número 8, ver. To watch or to see something. Número 9, comer. Comer means to eat. And finally, número 10, tomar. To take or to drink something. All right, amigos, it's been a pleasure. Okay, so here you've got the 10 most commonly used verbs in the Spanish language. Make sure, please, that you memorize them. Memorize these verbs because we'll be working with these verbs in the near future. These verbs here are doors that will open the way for you, will pave the way for you to being able to speak Spanish in an effective manner, in a way that people can understand you, and you will also be able to understand others by learning these verbs. Okay, amigos, it's been a pleasure. If this is your first time here, if you haven't subscribed yet, come on guys, give me a like and subscribe. That way I can continue uploading more videos and you can continue learning Spanish. It's been a pleasure, amigos. If you haven't seen our videos, go through our playlist. There's a wide range of topics. It's been a pleasure. Take care, drive carefully, look after yourself, and I'll see you next time. Adios, amigos.